So this is a Cricinfo article. Rohit did the decent thing, so why cloak it in intrigue? In the series of missteps in Australia, Rohit dropping himself, if you strip it of emotion, is among the most clear-headed decisions India have made. So we could have done without the intrigue. Let's see what Sanjay Manjrekar has to say about it
We
for a
got
few
a little
seconds.
hint from the coach. Well, I think we got a little hint from the coach when he was asked that question. So it was something that we all person that he is and the way he plays his cricket. It's typically Rohit Sharma who always, as I said, is happy to forsake his own advantages and his own cause for the bigger cause. There's something about him that we don't want to reveal or something. I don't understand it, and in fact, that actually diluted that great act by Rohit Sharma as captain to sort of stand down. And when you see Bumrah coming in, we need to really grow up, as maybe a cricketing entity and say things that ought to be said, because that is the least we can owe to the fans. We'll never know who's the person who actually was. It could be Gautam Gambhir, it could be the selection committee as well, who have the.
Alright, so that was Sanjay Manjrekar's opinion. This article is written by Sambit Bell. We could have done without the intrigue, and after it has happened, we can do without the absurd soft peddling around the words. Rohit Sharma hasn't rested himself, just as Shubman Gill wasn't rested for the previous test. He has stood himself down and call it courageous, selfless, or plain pragmatic. It certainly counts as extraordinary. Yet it's very rare that a captain will stand down in the middle of the series. So he has dropped himself. He wasn't scoring a lot of runs in the recent few test matches since the beginning of the Bangladesh series, and by uh, dropping himself, he has done the right thing as far as team is concerned. Whether it's selfless or is required or instigated by the loss of the last test match, I guess we will never know that. Had he played this match, if the last match would have ended in a draw, if it would have ended in a draw, Rohit Sharma would have had no role to play in the draw, right? It would have been Jaiswal and Rishabh Pant. In the series of missteps for India and Australia, confounding selections, batting order shuffles, ill-chosen strokes at vital moments, Rohit dropping himself, if you strip it of emotion, is among the most clear-headed decisions during this tour. Cricket accords massive allowances to the captain, but it was clear that Rohit didn't make it to the India's best possible 11. Yeah, that is true. He's just not scoring any run, and when you are playing with only four specialist batsmen, you have a keeper batsman at number 5, and then you have three all-rounders to follow them. All four specialist batsmen need to score runs, and they need to be at the top of their game. And a struggling batting lineup couldn't afford carry a non-performing captain in a must-win game. Irrespective of what happens in this test and whether Gill goes on to make a contribution of significance or not, this will remain the right decision for India. Gill got out after scoring just 20. Once again, he has a habit of getting to the 20s and 30s and then gifting his wicket away. He did the same thing today as well. There was no need to charge at Nathan Lyon just at the last ball before the lunch break. What makes it extraordinary, though, is that such things just don't happen in cricket. MS Dhoni gave up captaincy and Test cricket altogether during the course of a series on these very shores, and Kim Hughes and Nasir Hussain both resigned mid-series. But for an instance of a captain dropping himself for a test, there is every indication Rohit did this of his own volition. We need to go back to England's tour of Australia in 1974-75 when Mike Dennis left himself out after a rich run with the bat, 65 runs in 6 innings. Well, Rohit Sharma has only 32 runs in this series so far in 5 innings, I think. Yeah, and even before that, in the New Zealand and uh, Bangladesh series combined, he only had about 100 runs. So it's around 150 runs in this entire test season for him so far. Elite athletes are hardwired to believe in themselves. They become successful because they don't give up, because they believe they can overcome failure and can battle through tough times. Hard nose obstinacy, mongrel spirit, I don't know what obstinacy or mongrel spirit means, and the ability to shut out noise are among the things that separates them from all those who can play a pretty stroke or bowl a ripping out swinger or leg break. Yeah, so it's basically talking about how elite level athletes have self belief that they can do things and they can battle through hard times and emerge succeeding at the other end. In a fickle art like batting, in which one moment or every moment can be a turning point because batsmen can get out at any moment, how can you blame batters, particularly those who have traveled the course from believing that a run of scores is just an innings away? How can they, left to their own devices, give up without another tilt? In the normal course of events, the decision is out of their hands. It's those who pick the team, selectors before and after the series, and captain and the coach during series, that makes the call. It might vary from team to team and people to people, but the accepted protocol is that the captain has the last word on the 10 that walk alongside him to battle. We don't know what Rohit's been thinking. There have been leaks suggesting this quiet in the dressing room. It would have been unusual if words hadn't been spoken after the last day implosion that cost India the test in Melbourne. It was his absence due to paternity leave at the beginning of the series that necessitated the batting order reshuffle in the first place and forcing Gill out to accommodate a batting all-rounder. The runs from Nitish Kumar Reddy and Washington Sundar shouldn't obscure the fact that together they bowled fewer overs than Jasprit Bumrah's 28.4 in the first innings alone might have weighted heavily on him. Well, here they are talking about that how Gill was left out in favor of all-rounders Reddy and Sundar, and both Reddy and Sundar combined didn't bowl as many overs as Jasprit Bumrah. Number one, Jasprit Bumrah was bowling very well, and the captain obviously wanted him to bowl at different stages of the match. Uh, and then on top of that, if you look at Sundar's bowling in the first inning, especially, he was bowling really well. I thought he was getting the ball to drop on the batsman, but he only bowled 15 overs, I think, and he bowled lesser overs than Ravindra Jadeja as well. Jadeja wasn't bowling as well. He got few wickets, but batsmen played bad strokes for those dismissals rather than it was Jadeja's bowling which got that wicket. But Sundar, even though he picked one big wicket, he was bowling really well. He was getting the ball to drop on the batsman, and had he bowled longer, might have picked a few more wickets as well. So I think there was a tactical mistake from the captain in that match not to bowl more overs from Sundar. Nitish Kumar Reddy needs conditions. He needs seam and swing condition to bowl more because he is only in 120s. As his pace is only in 120s, and if you bowl him a lot of overs on the batting tracks, he can succeed. He can give a lot of runs away. If anything, the last couple of months in Rohit's career underlines the fickleness of sport. It's now almost forgotten that 2024 was among Rohit's greatest in India colours, coming on the back of him leading India to 2023 ODI World Cup final, where his scorching starts not only gave India the momentum for big scores, but set out a marker for the brand of cricket for his team. He started the year with a come from behind series win against England, to which he contributed two match defining hundreds, and went on to win India's first ICC World title since 2011 at the T20 World Cup in USA and West Indies. where his runs in difficult conditions were vital. He began the home season in September with test wins against Bangladesh, one of which was manufactured with breathtaking audacity led by Rohit himself. So it was not long ago that Rohit's leadership was seen as transformational. He was hailed as a calming and uniting presence of the field, engaging with players, involving himself alongside Rahul Dravid in the players' well-being and communicating with selectors in planning for the future. I think all of that depends on his batting form as well. When he's scoring runs as a batsman, he has confidence in himself, and that reflects on other players as well. And his own self-confidence, he is able to reflect that on other players. That if I am able to perform, they will also be able to perform. So let me be patient with them. But if you would have noticed in the last test match as well, he was getting irritated and very animated when Jaiswal was dropping the catches one by one, and his reaction suggests that he was very anxious about those moments, and he knew that was a big moment in the game, as he didn't had the self confidence that there could be more opportunities created after those drop catches. And that is a reflection of his own bad form as well. He does not believe he can score runs. Similarly, he does not believe his team can perform, his bowlers can take wickets, his batsman can score, or his batsman can chase a higher target than 220, 240, whatever runs we would have got, had those catches been taken. And on the field, he rallied them to the cause of team over personal milestones. It's remarkable how the wheels have come off for Rohit. It began with choosing to bat on a greenish pitch under murky skies in the Bangalore test against New Zealand, and since then India have spiraled downhill, the only thing for the South being Rohit's own returns with the bat. Yeah, so I've seen this many times. India have won the toss, and under cloudy skies they are choosing to bat. They did it against New Zealand in Bangalore and got all out for 46. Then they did it in the Adelaide Test match as well, where they won the toss and took batting first. It was clearly cloudy and pitch had a tinge of green. They did it in Perth as well, but Rohit wasn't there. Bumrah was the captain. Then in this current Test match in Sydney again, once again they have chosen to bat first when the pitch is clearly green and and there's cloudy weather. Sometimes I wonder if those decisions are made because they feel it's their best chance of winning, or do they feel they are not good enough to bat in the fourth innings. So did Rohit come to the point where the abyss felt too deep to climb out of, where an upturn seemed impossible, and as a leader his own baggage seemed too much a burden for the team? Dennis had later described his decision to opt out as the lowest point of his life. It's hard to imagine it being any different for Rohit. It is understood he had contemplated sitting out at Melbourne too. Oh, okay. This incredibly tough decision must be seen in the light it merits, a decent man doing the decent thing. But it must be said that he has done himself a disservice by cloaking the decision in such secrecy that it led to fervent speculation. What does fervent mean? Why do they have to write such tough English? They could use easy words, right? I think just to make themselves feel better, they use such tough words. Dennis had the chance to come back and sign off from the series with a 188. Rohit would have been painfully aware that this might be his last act as a test player, so why sign off this way? Why is the word dropped such a stigma in Indian cricket when it's such a fundamental part of the team game? Why this rates at the pre-match press conference? It is inconceivable that the team didn't know. So what was there to protect? And what's dishonorable in fronting up when the truth is honorable? Yeah, so basically they are raising the question that once you have made the decision to drop yourself from the test match because of your batting form, why why hide it? Why cloak that decision in secrecy? Once you have made the decision to sit out of the test match because of your batting form, because of your poor batting form, why cloak that decision in such secrecy? Why hide it from others by saying things like it's a selfless decision? And Jasprit Bumrah, when he came for the toss this morning, he himself was talking about team unity and everything when that was not the question asked for him. So clearly they have this talking points in mind, right? These are the kind of things which are going on in the dressing room. So they know that maybe the team is not completely united, but they want it to be united. Maybe they are talking about it in the dressing room that we have to be united and go out and fight. That's why Jasprit Bumrah, when he came for the toss, he said, "We are united and we are going to fight." And Rohit has done a selfless act by resting himself because everyone knows he is not scoring runs. So obviously, his team members also know, his other players in the team also know that he is not scoring run and he is not likely to score runs. So there's no real reason to hide that. Just come clean, tell that openly that you don't think you are in form, you don't think you would be able to score runs, and that's why you have dropped yourself or rested yourself. And then this article is questioning why the word drop has become such a stigma, because in the last game they dropped Shubman Gill and then say it is not dropped, it's neither drop nor rest, it's something else. He just didn't fit the team combination. When you don't fit the team combination, you have been dropped. That's what this article is suggesting. So that's all for this video. Until next time, see ya.